Hi everyone, Janie here. Welcome back to my garden. I am just about to hop in my car and head over to Sacramento. I have a wonderful garden tour to share with you all today. I love this time of year because this is when all the gardens are in full swing, and I just feel like I have so many opportunities to film, to go see myself, and to film for all of you to see some really, really cool gardens. So today's garden is a very, very special one. This one was actually designed by my friend and co-author, Michael Glassman, and this property was actually featured in our book, Solving Problems in the Landscape. So before I head to Sacramento to show you all the property, the garden, I wanted to show you all the spread that we have in our book of the property that we're actually going to see today. This spread is in the Solving Privacy and Screening Issues chapter. Our book is divided up into different problems that you'll find in the landscape and how to solve them. So this is what we're working with. This is what Michael and the homeowner Phil is working with. It's in a neighborhood where the homes are very, very close together, 2 stories, so that his neighbors could basically look into his space, a very, very small space, but a space that he still wanted to use. We live in California. We like being outside, so he wanted to have this space be very, very usable, even though he had major privacy and screening issues. So unfortunately, the project has been in process for a while. Unfortunately, it wasn't finished by the time our book went to the publishers, but we were able to add in some pictures that Michael did of the designs, and apparently, I haven't seen it yet, but apparently the final result looks very similar to his designs, which is really fun. So Michael designed using some laser cut privacy screens, metal privacy screens, to block out his neighbors, Phil's neighbors, and also prevent his neighbors from looking in. You can see here there's another tall fireplace, and then some big, beautiful greenery, and then of course a pergola overhead so that people in their second story can't look down into their garden. And then finally, lots of welded wire mesh screen with star jasmine growing up it. So it's just become this oasis that Phil, the homeowner, can use, even though it's pretty open to the rest of his neighbors. So anyway, I just wanted to show you all that. I wanted you guys to see this in our book before I head to Sacramento and introduce you all to Phil.
Hi everyone, this is Michael Glassman here, and I'm very, very excited to show you this new project. And I'm here with the homeowner, Phil Charay, and wonderful individual.
Yay, Phil.
Hi guys.
Hi. So the thing that we love about this project, and I will say, Phil was totally involved in it. It wasn't like, oh, we designed it and he just sat back and watched. He helped and was involved in every decision, from tile to planting to colors to detailing, and that's the way it should be. And the thing that I love about this project is this is different than all the other garden tours that we've done. Sure, plants are important and they're beautiful, and I love doing the garden tours with Janie with plants. But this is more about a garden tour about creating an outdoor environment, and that's what it is. As we talked about in the book, this place had a tremendous amount of problems. The number one is, and I'm going to ask you, why'd you buy it?
Well, so the reason I bought it was I was in a condo before. I had 0 outdoor space, but I like the idea of being able to live in a very low maintenance, no backyard, no fuss, no muss type of situation where I could lock and leave for a month or so, go down to my house in Mexico, and not have to worry about the landscaping or the house itself, but yet still have a private outdoor space. So when I was looking for a home, I found this home in Curtis Park, and they're new builds, but they're really just kind of they're simple patio homes where you have a small outdoor space where you still can have all the benefits of a backyard, outdoor kitchen, etc., without all of the huge maintenance and landscaping issues that you would normally face in a backyard area.
Absolutely. So. But the one thing about this place, which I love, and I think it was a brilliant idea for Phil, was it had some indigenous problems. And unfortunately, I will say this is our future. Bigger homes on teeny lots with no privacy, with a lot of sun problems, with a lot of shade problems, with a lot of noise problems. this is what we have to contend with. So your viewers, sure, looking at the beautiful properties with lots of land and everything,
it's great.
It's great. Yeah, it's great. But unfortunately, that's not what we're all contending. In fact, if we walk down this way a little bit and see the neighbor, this is what Phil's place looked like before.
Yeah, which, I mean, it's a beautiful home. It's a gorgeous
It's a gorgeous home.
But this is the whole of the garden, right?
Right.
Phil?
This is it. There's no backyard. The side yards are tiny little spaces. You can see one of the things for people that are kind of wondering, it's a southern exposure, so you get hot afternoon sun, and a western exposure coming in. So the reality is, in our summers where it's 105, you'd never sit out here.
Right.
Never.
Plus, it's interesting that the developer created these courtyards, but they put these low walls in. So if you're sitting out there, you're in total view. You have no privacy whatsoever.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's tough. That is definitely tough.
Yeah.
I could see that, especially with the south facing.
And what's interesting about this community is that, you know, in older communities in Sacramento, they're going to be building things like this. They're not going to be putting in the, you know, the quarter-acre lots anymore. And to afford a quarter-acre lot in a central neighborhood within Sacramento where an old historical home is on, you know, you're looking in this area easily entry point $1 million, and that's just out of range for most people.
Exactly.
And not just Sacramento. I feel like this is going on everywhere.
Oh, everywhere.
Right.
Everything's getting smaller. The lot sizes are getting smaller.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then what they're doing is they're buying these bigger homes with big properties and subdividing them so that they can build lots of homes.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And it's an initiative of Sacramento too. You know, the urban density has to improve, and because the city won't even approve interior projects within Sacramento unless they have some urban density to them.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
crazy.
Absolutely.
So we have lots of problems. We have small areas, small gardens, small outdoor living spaces, lots of sun.
Lots of sun.
Lots of neighbors kind of spying on you.
Yeah.
I mean, I know your neighbors are very sweet, but you don't always want people spying on you.
Absolutely.
But Phil, I've walked around your property a little bit. This is the best example of close quarter living I've ever seen. You guys have done such a beautiful job. Michael, I love your designs. And Phil, I know how particular you are, and I know a lot of this came from you. So we can kind of see it in the background. Let's go take a look at it because it is really, really cool. And Michael, you were saying design is in the details, right?
Design is definitely in the details. And no space is a throwaway space, especially when you don't have a lot of room. You need to maximize every piece of space so that it's not a throwaway. You use it.
So let's talk about this welded wire, what do you call it? Gate fence?
Yeah, welded wire mesh. This actually you can get at a feed store, and then it's powder coated and it's built so that you have metal posts. And the thing that I love about it is it doesn't take up a lot of room, but it gives you a perfect opportunity. This is Trichelospermum jasminoides, for those of you that want the botanicals. It's star jasmine.
AKA star jasmine.
It's star jasmine, which not only grows beautifully, it doesn't overtake everything. So Phil is out there with his machete hacking back. Yeah. But it gives privacy. It's an evergreen. It also flowers and has an amazing smell.
Yeah, I mean, we just missed the bloom cycle. And when the bloom cycle was in, this was just a wall of white flower jasmine. And my neighbors would even comment. They would walk down and they're like, oh, my God, everything smells so beautiful out here.
Oh, my gosh. And this is just the first year. You know, there's sleep, creep, leap. Once this whole thing gets covered, this is going to be absolutely stunning. It's going to be a living room surrounded with jasmine. And jasmine was a great choice because, like you said, you go to Mexico a lot. If you had something that needed a little bit more work, by the time you came home, you would have tons of chores.
Absolutely.
But jasmine, you're pretty good. I mean, a little bit of cutting, but a little bit
and you know, you train them. You take the tendrils and you kind of wrap them through the terrace or through the trellis, and you know, it starts to become a living wall, which is great.
Great option. Good job, guys.
And we chose to kind of put them together with this arch over here, which again pulls together a lot of design, a lot of things that Phil really liked. Like Phil designed this gate, which What it is it makes the front door, instead of the front door all the way pushed back, this feels more like the front door. But it's open, it's not glass. And again, this design was reflected in the screens, and then when you turn and see where the outdoor kitchen is, it was also reflected here for privacy.
I love it. It's very modern, but it's not too much. It's not like screaming modern, right?
Yeah, and that's what we tried to do. We tried to blend in I think the facade of this house was a French Normandy type design.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to, take advantage of kind of the geometric patterns within the brick and in the facade woodwork to make sure that the design aesthetic matched that.
Well, and also as you're looking at it, you'll notice the flooring. Sure, we could have left it concrete, but because it's a small space and we wanted every detail important, this is a silver travertine, and Phil wanted a Versailles pattern so that it's not all the same shape. But again, you'll notice the different shapes that are in the gates and the doors are reflected in the floor, and then the colors.
You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, even the stonework.
Even the stonework.
And then oh my gosh,
that is exactly why we picked the Versailles pattern.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, I
and the reason we picked the silver travertine was it goes with the stone, but it makes for a wonderful flooring. And for people that say, yes, but there's expense to this. If we're talking sustainability, concrete is great. Don't get me wrong. It's wonderful. But it has a lifespan of about 23 to 25 years. This travertine, we don't have the lifespan, but it does 300 years, 400 years.
Yeah.
They don't have to worry. All he has to do eventually is pressure wash it.
Well, tell everybody about what you were telling me, the other house that you did, and you did it 20 years ago. And
26 years ago, yeah.
And the only thing that has lasted is the hardscape you
Exactly.
put in?
I was working with a couple 26 years ago. We designed their dream home, but they couldn't afford to do it all. So we did this upper terrace with bluestone, and which is beautiful. And then around the pool, we did the bluestone. The rest we did with concrete. Well, 26 years later, when they retired, they came back and said, we want to finish the project. We have the money, we have the time, so let's finish it. And I went back to see it, and as I told Janie, everything that was done in the bluestone, it was picture perfect, except for it had to be pressure washed and cleaned. Took an hour. But everything around the pool, other than the coping that was bluestone, all the concrete, it was literally disintegrating. It was coming apart.
Wow.
And the hardest thing for them was, what we wound up doing is taking the concrete out and putting back bluestone. But we had to find 26-year-old bluestone that would match.
Yeah.
And it took 3.5 months of searching all over the country to finally find something that we could blend in with what they had so it didn't look like a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
But again, it's all about sustainability. That's their dream home.
Doesn't that make you feel good to hear that? To
Yeah,
know
absolutely.
that in 26 years, this is still going to look as good as it does today?
And when Michael showed me the silver travertine, it was kind of a no-brainer because because the tone on tone and the kind of earthy colors of the house.
Yeah.
This everything blends really well, and it makes it a very uniform space, because I think when you're dealing with small spaces, you have to almost keep everything very uniform.
Yes.
Because if you try to mix in different patterns or different colors, it can feel really disconnected and very choppy.
Yep.
Bigger spaces, yes, but smaller spaces, I think you need to make a more uniform look for your base, and then pop in color where you need it. So.
And you can focus on the detail, like the patterns that you guys have. I'm in love with that. I didn't realize that until you explained it, but now I see it, and everything that you're talking about, I'm like, oh, Versailles pattern, Versailles pattern.
Yep.
By the way, look at this
Look
one.
at these. I mean, each
gosh.
piece of tile is almost like a work of art. I love them. I absolutely love them.
This is gorgeous.
I couldn't ask for any better. So, and you can see, like in the morning here, I get this beautiful morning sun. I usually come out here, have my coffee, especially in the summertime. It's still nice and cool. But one of the coolest features that we did is stay in the living room here. Is in the afternoon, it's a direct west exposure, so I have a ton of sun that's coming in here. Most small spaces you could never imagine sitting out here during the summertime with that west exposure.
Yeah.
But what we did was we had an awning company come in.
Oh my gosh. Design is in the details,
Design is in
right?
the details. I love this.
And so you can pretty much customize your sun exposure in the afternoon.
Oh my goodness, Phil.
Is that
this
amazing?
Is incredible.
Boom. And so you could be sitting out here in pure shade with your ceiling fan on in here, and it's perfectly comfortable.
And enjoying the smell of the star jasmine.
Exactly.
Even when it's 100 degrees outside.
Absolutely.
And there are little things. If people said, well, why didn't he bring the overhead over the whole thing? One of the things architecturally that I loved about this home was I love the stonework and I love the large space here.
Yeah.
But in this area, they didn't have stone. So we did the overhead structure to break. All it was stucco. So we did the overhead structure because we always knew this was going to be his seating area, and this was where, and then adding the shade structure with the shade cloth, and then the fan in here keeps the air circulating.
I love that. The pergola just over part of it makes it feel like you have two different living spaces.
It really does, and what's really nice as well too on cooler nights, because we know you can get cold even in the summertime when the delta winds kick up and Sacramento evening temperatures drop. You can be out here, have your fireplace on, lower the shade again, and it creates a very warm, cozy environment within this specific space right here.
Party
which
at
is
Phil's
really nice.
house, right?
Party at Phil's house. So for a second, let's also talk, because plants are important.
Yes.
Yep.
I love for screening. These are custom pots that were designed, and Phil had the same person that did the door do the pots. And again, those are standard pineapple guavas.
It's beautiful. How big are these going to get, Michael?
Those can get, depending on how he prunes them, those could get 10 to 12 feet with an equal spread. But you keep them trimmed so that they don't overpower things.
Yeah.
And the thing that I love about it, you'll notice the flower. It's edible.
Yeah, look at how beautiful.
And then the flower turns into a fruit. That's why they call them pineapple guava. And it's a guava, but it has a little taste of pineapples.
Love it.
And I love them. I have them in my yard.
Underneath, we have dichondra silver falls.
Yes, you do.
A little bit of, are those pansies or are those?
Actually, so yeah, so
Calibracoa.
what we wanted to do there is I just put perennials in there to pop different colors, and I'm a huge tennis fan, and so I had orange petunias in there before for Roland Garros for the French Open.
Okay.
And now we're switching over to grass court season, and now it's Wimbledon. So Wimbledon's all orange or is all purple and green. So so I replanted with purple petunias.
Cool?
Yeah,
Showing your team's colors.
Exactly.
Or, how do you say that in tennis?
It's
showing your support.
Yeah, showing your support for the Grand Slam events, because I'm a huge tennis fan. So.
And in the wintertime, these are evergreens, so they don't lose their leaves. So he's not going to lose his privacy.
Right. I think that is so cool, because a lot of times, in warmer climates, you don't think about what else can be evergreens other than like a conifer or something like that. But pineapple guava is such a great example. And I have to say, the bluish tint to the pineapple guava goes so well with the fireplace and the taupey color of the fireplace. Now, is that stucco?
Yeah, so it's stucco. So this was a U.S. fireplace, and Michael could probably remember. It's their standard model.
Yes,
so
it's a contractor's model.
Contractor's model. So it's a drop-in. So essentially, once you get your gas line permits and everything, they just drop it in.
What?
And
5 pieces.
Oh my God,
and
it looks
if you didn't want to do gas, you can do propane.
Right.
But it's made so then you can modify it. You can add stone, you can add stucco, but instead of having a custom fireplace, you customize the prefab.
Wow.
Right. And you can see some of it's already been customized. We matched the stone. I was able to get a hold of the builder and get the exact stone matched to the facade of my house.
I love that.
At the bottom.
What a great detail.
And then this is actually a porcelain slab. Really, really super, super durable. Hard to work with, though. Hard to find a fabricator to work with it.
Yeah.
But this porcelain slab you'll see is on the outdoor kitchen as well too. It's basically indestructible. Once they fabricate it, it is there for life. It's probably the same lifespan as the silver travertine.
Oh, how cool.
And Phil is talking about, which I think is an amazing idea, of maybe facing the front in some sort of really wonderful deco tile when he goes down to Mexico to kind of look for something that is a wow.
Yeah. So you're going to source some tile from Mexico?
Yeah, I think so. It's those design decisions, those little small details. It's got to be really the right fit, and so I'm looking at doing that, and then also tiling the entryway as you come in here to give some cohesiveness and a little bit of pop of something.
Oh, I love this. You must be Michael's favorite client, because you are so good at repeating things, and Michael's always telling me, you have to repeat this.
Yeah,
You have to
repetition.
repeat
Yes,
this."
yes.
And again, you got to, for small spaces, you have to be very cohesive, because if you start doing different design concepts in such a small space, it's going to look so disconnected and not well at all.
Even Phil picked out the furniture, which I love.
Yeah.
I mean,
Love
it's colorful without hitting you over the head. I love the green and the cushions. But it pulls everything together, gives you some interest without hitting you over the head, but it's subtly gorgeous.
It's really stunning. Tell me about the bar area over here.
So my goal here was to have an outdoor kitchen, because everybody needs an outdoor kitchen, right? And some decisions needed to be made whether I wanted to plumb it with a sink and everything. But if where Michael is standing right here, I have access to my kitchen about 20 feet away. So there's really the added expense of adding plumbing and sewage out here to an outdoor sink was just ridiculous. So I'm just like, no, that's not necessary. But I did want a really nice high-end, gas barbecue grill, and with storage and trash components down here to make sure that you can cook out. So the other idea here is if you want to, a small little bar seating area where you can sit and enjoy the countertop if you want to, with an umbrella sleeve here.
My goodness!
I've got a
what a great idea!
Yeah, I've got a custom umbrella that comes up here and goes horizontally across, so you can even shade this area while you're cooking.
How cool!
So
So you guys tell everybody when this property actually got finished, because it just got finished.
It just got finished. So I say we put the final touch and detail on about a month and a half ago.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah. We were so excited. We wanted to photograph this and put it in the book. It wasn't done, and I didn't want to put half done, so that's why we included the drawings and the concept. But then I thought later on we'll come back after it's built and actually show the homeowners, show the subscribers what it looks like in person.
It's so fun to see this, because basically I've seen the designs, I've seen the plans, I've seen the before of this place, and to see it after is so fun, because what a huge difference.
Oh, it's amazing, and I cannot tell everybody what a difference it makes in outdoor living, because in my old place, I just had this little sliver patio. I never used it. It was just, rarely go out there, sit down, have a drink. I'm out here all the time. Morning with my coffee. Evening is even more beautiful. Like if you came back during the evening, what we did was we designed landscape lighting to basically highlight and shoot everything up into the trellis work, into the pineapple guavas. And so this whole area just gets illuminated in this beautiful light.
I can imagine. I bet it's absolutely gorgeous.
It's amazing.
I have a big favor to ask, Phil.
Sure.
Can we go inside and look out the window
Absolutely.
at your side yard? Because this is a 0-lot side yard, basically. There's like a couple feet, right? 3 feet maybe?
Yeah, probably about 3.5. I'd say 3.5 feet.
And I just want to say, he hasn't mentioned it yet, there is another individual that lives in this house yes, his name is Oliver. He's a cat. And Phil brought him with him, and he has made certain concessions and special features for Oliver.
Yes,
Oliver's
absolutely.
enjoying the new property as well.
And Oliver's actually in the book. You'll see a picture of Oliver in the book scratching his head on an agave cactus. So what I wanted to do is, Oliver's an indoor-outdoor cat, so I wanted to make sure he had access to the outdoors whenever he wants to go outside. And so part of the reason I chose this home is so that he could still have his outdoor space as well too.
I love it.
He loves to perch just like all cats do. He loves to, get on different surfaces. So, the mantle up here, he loves perching on this. He loves walking along the fence line. He loves hanging out on the cushions, on the sofas and the chairs here. But his side yard is basically his.
Let's go see it.
And Oliver allows Phil to live here.
Yeah, exactly.
Oliver allows him to.
Exactly.
All right, so just outside your window.
Yeah, so one of the problems with the 0-lot line again is that your neighbors are so close, and I had these windows on both sides of my main great room area that will be exposed by other homes once they build them here. So again, we did the trellis work here to block all the view here, so the jasmine will go all the way up. What's beautiful at this is at night, when I open this up at night, all of this is illuminated, so all I see is this beautiful living wall with jasmine on it. So,
I love it. What a great idea, so that you're not just looking at a fence with a house over the fence.
Right.
Absolutely.
You've taken the trellis up past that, and you know the star jasmine is going to grow beautifully right there.
Absolutely.
And the smell. And then I have to point out your stock tanks. So you painted these stock tanks, right?
Yeah, so I just got stock tanks from a feed, farmer's feed supply store down in Dixon. Crammed them into my SUV and drove them back and primed and painted them. So,
beautiful.
And they make great planters. And
Oliver likes the nepeta, the catmint.
Yeah, that was actually Michael's idea. Let's put some plants in there that attract cats. And he loves to go out there in the afternoon and actually lay in those pots.
And the trees are ginkgos, which will give a good canopy. But can you imagine in the fall? Those leaves will turn gold. So again, there's always something going on that's really exciting. So no view is a throwaway view.
I just love this. You guys have used every square inch of this property, even putting the rocks down on the bottom and the different rocks around the star jasmine with the mondo grass. What a beautiful, beautiful use of a small space. Good job.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, Michael and Phil, I just want to say a huge thank you for showing us this really, really beautiful property that solves problems, right? There's so many people that are going to have this issue as properties get more expensive and get smaller, and just seeing what you guys have done, it's just amazing.
And what I tell people is we're creating outdoor rooms, outdoor environments. No place is a throwaway space. Design is in the details. And make it a space that you, like Phil was saying, that you want to come out, you want to have a cup of coffee, you want to have drinks, you want to have friends, but make it your own. Make it something special to you rather than just, generic that everyone else has.
Yeah.
And to highlight that, I think what really sets it off for me is that I feel like I have all the amenities that anybody would have in a larger backyard in a very small space that is easy to take care of, lock and leave, don't worry about it, come back and continue to enjoy it.
Oh my God.
And I will just say, and it's gorgeous, it's beautiful.
Gorgeous.
And like I tell people, which is so exciting, when you do interior design, you buy the furniture and it's great. It looks great, but it's never going to change. But as Janie will tell you, and I will tell you, when you put plants in, they don't stop. They keep growing. They embellish. They change. You add color. You add things. So it's an ongoing, always embellishing, wonderful thing. So it doesn't stay the same. It's not static. And that's the thing that's what makes it so exciting.
In 2 to 3 years, Phil, this property is going to be a whole different look. It's going to be so lush and so beautiful, and I cannot wait to see it.
Yeah. Come on back. I'll let you see it in 3 to 4 years. So.
Well, a huge thank you to you both. I hope you all enjoyed this, and I hope you all have a chance to get in your garden today.